Hello everybody, it's Tarun. Welcome to your second tutorial in the HTML course. In this tutorial, I'll start with Unit 1, which is creating a simple page. In this unit, I'll cover introduction to elements and attributes, and a step-by-step demo of marking up simple web page. Then the elements that provide document structure, a simple style sheet, and some troubleshooting about broken web pages. So you have all looked at HTML documents as you have surfed through the internet. Every page which you are going over the internet is a HTML document only, and in this unit the demonstration of HTML will be done in the 5 steps. And the first step is we'll start with content. As a starting point, we'll write up raw text content and see what our browsers do with it. Then we'll give the document its structure, and we'll learn about HTML syntax in this step and the elements that give the document its structure. The step 3 is identifying text elements. We'll describe the content using appropriate text elements and learn about the proper way to use HTML. The step 4 is adding an image. By adding an image to the page, we'll learn about attributes and empty elements. The step 5 and the last step will be changing the page appearance with a style sheet. This exercise will give us a taste of formatting content with cascading style sheets, or you might be knowing it with the term CSS. So by the time we are finished with this unit, we'll have written the source document for a page. And it will not be very fancy, but it is to start somewhere. And we'll be checking our work in a browser frequently throughout this unit. And probably more that you have done in your real life, but this is because we want understanding of good HTML. We want good understanding of HTML, and this will be helpful to see our cause and effect of each small change to the source file along the way. So before we begin, first of all, we need to launch a text editor. I'm sure that you all would have installed Notepad++ in your systems. So for starting the HTML, we'll be writing out our HTML code in the text editor. So first of all, launch your text editor. As you can see, I have done it here. So now let's start in the Notepad++. We first of all, the most important thing to learn HTML is that whenever we'll save a file, we'll use the extension .html or .htm. You can use either of it, but you have to use one of them at the end of your any web page to interpret the text file which you have saved as a web page. If you do not use these extension outside the name of the text file, then your text file will not be treated as a web page. So keep in mind that whenever you save a text file, you use these extensions, so it will be a web page only. So now let's create a document in our Notepad++. So first of all, start with typing any content. Like say now let me type I am learning HTML. And in next line, it is used for web design. So now let me go ahead and save it. File, save. In the desktop. Before saving, one more thing is there, that you need you need or you must save your every web page inside a single folder only, so that when you will connect them, you will find it very easy to connect those folders, web pages very easily when they are inside a single folder only. So now let me save it in the desktop. I have created HTML folder. Okay, and I am naming the file index.html. Okay, so why I am naming the file index? Because it is a standard method to name your first or main page of the website as index. So let me go ahead and save it. Okay, and let me show you that how the web page will look when I will open it. Okay, so let me open it. So go ahead and open. HTML index.html. So here you can see that the web page looks like this. I am learning HTML and it is used for web design. But here you can see that I have used these two sentences as two separate lines, but the output in the browser is two sentences in a single line only. Okay, so why this is happening? Because when a browser reads the content of your HTML file, okay, and there are few things happen, and there are a couple of things to be learned here. The first thing is apparent that the browser ignores the line breaks in the source document, and the other information which browser ignores is multiple white spaces. Okay, when a browser encounters more than one consecutive blank character space, it displays a single space. So if the document contains, say, long, comma long, and then a go. Okay, so if let me show you. If your browser contains something like this, then if I go ahead and save it, and this is our web page, so let me refresh it. Okay, now here you can see that it has been printed in the same line with only one white space character between them. Okay, and browsers convert white spaces, carry age returns to white spaces. So following the earlier ignore multiple white spaces rule, line breaks have no effect on formatting the text on the page, and text and elements wrap continuously until a new block element such as headings, paragraphs, or line breaks element is occurred in the flow of the document text. Okay, here tabs are also converted to character spaces. So this is what browsers do. Browsers are instructed to ignore any tag they don't understand or that was specified incorrectly. So depending on the element and the browser, this can have varied results. The browser may display nothing at all, or it may display the contents of the tag as though it was normal text. Okay. Browsers will not display the text on the web page, which are comments, and to you denote a comment, the tag is, okay. As in any programming language, there are syntax. So to create web pages, we will use HTML markup tags. So the first tag which I am going to teach you is the comment tag, okay, which goes like this. And one thing is there, that every tag is written inside the angular braces. So inside the angular braces, the comment tag goes like this: first exclamation mark, then two hyphens, okay, and after that you type anything, and okay, then two hyphens. So if I go ahead and save it and see it in the browser, okay, you can see that there is no change in the browser. So you can see that it was a comment. This was step 1 in our 5-step process. So now let's move to the second step. We have our content saved in an HTML document, and now we are start to marking it up. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you with the HTML elements now. Okay, and for HTML elements, the syntax is like this. Element name, then content here, okay. So this is the syntax for any HTML tag. Okay, so for the benefit of the Notepad++, as you all have seen here, that it shows you whether you have closed your tag or not, okay, by highlighting it. So the first the syntax says that the first part is the opening tag, the middle part is the content, which can be any text or it can be any other HTML element also, and the last part is closing tag. Okay, so there are few type of tags in HTML. Some tags are there which are required to close each and every time, and some tags are there which do not require closing. So the proper syntax is this. So let me just show you one example. Okay, I am going to show you example of a heading tag h1. Okay, and I am typing the heading as h1 only. So this slash, you may be confused about it, but we are using the slash which is on the key with the question mark. Okay, so now if I save it, okay, let me just remove it. So let's save it and see it in our browser. So you can see that it is now showing heading, okay, without showing the h1 and slash h1. So elements are defined by tags in the text source. In the text source, a tag consists of elements, element name, usually an abbreviation of a longer descriptive name within angular braces, as I've told you. And the browser knows that any text within brackets is hidden and to be considered as tags and not displayed in the browser window. The element name appears in the opening tag, also called a start tag, and again in the closing or end tag, which is preceded by a slash. The closing tag works something like an off switch for the element. So be careful that you do not use backslash character in the end tags, because it will not close your tag. The tags added around content are referred to as the markup, and it is important to note that an element consists of both the content and its markup, and the markup is start tag and end tag. Not all elements have content, however, some are empty by definition, such as the line break tag, okay, which is BR. So if I add tag BR here, so now let's see the change in our web page. Okay, first of all, save your HTML file and then go to your web page, refresh it. So here you can see that the line has been broken now, and the next statement it is used for web design starts on the next line. So one more thing is there in the BR tag. Okay, it is an empty tag, so you need not to close it, but instead you should use slash here, okay, to practice your web designing as standard. Okay, in the new standard process of web designing. This is how empty tags are used. It will not create any effect on your web page. So let's save it and view our web page again. So as you can see that it shows no change in your web page. One last thing before moving to the basic document structure, okay, which is capitalization. In HTML, the capitalization of element names is not important. So in HTML, if you use H1 like this or H1 like this, okay, these will both be the same. But however, in XHTML, okay, which is extensible HTML, the stricter version of HTML, all elements named must be lowercase. So which means that this capitalized H1 is wrong in that case, and all the element name should be written in lowercase letters only. And I'll follow that standard method only because it helps you to understand your code better. Because if you use capital and small letters both, then you will get confused when you will see the source code for any web page. So now let's see the basic document structure. So I'm going to show you the minimal required skeleton of an HTML5 document. Okay, I'm saying recommended because the only element that is required in HTML is the title element. Okay, but I feel better particularly for beginners to explicitly organize documents with the proper structural markup. And if you're writing in the stricter XHTML, all of the following elements which I'm going to tell you except the meta element must be included in order to be valid. So now let me tell you the minimal structure. Okay, minimal structure looks like this. Okay, this is the minimal structure, and I don't want to confuse things to you, but the first line in this example is not an element at all. It is a document type declaration, also called top type declaration, and it identifies this document as a HTML5 document. And I'll teach you more about HTML5 document in the something about HTML5 unit, the last unit. But for this discussion, I'll say that including it lets the modern browsers know what they should interpret the document as written according to HTML5 specification. And the entire document is contained within an HTML element. Okay, this HTML element, because the HTML element is called the root element because it contains all the elements in the document, and it may not be contained within any other element. It is used for both HTML and XHTML documents. And within the HTML element, the document is divided into a head and a body. The head element contains descriptive information about the document itself, such as its title, the style sheets it uses, scripts, and other type of meta information. The meta elements within the head element provide information about the document itself. A meta element can be used to provide all sorts of information, but in this case it specifies the character encoding, okay, the standardization of letters, numbers, and symbols, which will be used in this document. And I don't want to go too much into detail on this right now, but I know that there are many good reasons for specifying the character set or char set in every document. So I've included it as a part of minimal document structure. And also in the head, it is mandatory the title element. According to HTML specification, every document must contain a descriptive title. Finally, the body element contains everything we want to show up in the browser window. So that was all from my side in this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we'll start to add some more structures to our home page or the web page which we have created now. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next tutorial.